I just realized that I haven't done a scary movie review since October, so let's rectify that problem. Macabre is William Castle's 1958 cash cow that launched his gimmick-laden career, but more on that later. The movie starts off with a voiceover narration telling you if you're too much of a pansy, you need to get up and run screaming from the theater right now before it's too late. But the movie really starts off with the child's coffin being stolen from the funeral parlor and Sheriff Thurston Howell III taking the case. But not before he tells a local doctor that he's a washed-up drunk that kills more patients than he saves, and he needs to get the fuck out of his town. A regular Mayberry, ain't it? Dr. Baird then goes to his practice and has a heated discussion about how he still has purpose and he's not going to give up, but then he gives up and decides to take his daughter and the nurse to the lake anyways. They go to pick up the kid but can't find her. The nurse intercepts a phone call talking about how the doctor's daughter's been kidnapped and buried alive. They have 5 hours to find the kid or dum dum dum. The doc, the nurse, and the nanny jump into action but don't want to tell Sheriff Howell III or the kid's grandpa because he has a bad ticker. And away they go! The first thing the nanny does is tell Grandpa and primes his heart for the cardiac infarction that's impending. So now Pappy's on board. Doc and Nurse Pretty go looking for fresh dirt in the cemetery, and since the doc sucks at his job, there's a lot of fresh dirt. They start digging willy-nilly and having conversations like a 1950s Criminal Minds episode, all the while trying to avoid the caretaker. Luckily for them, the caretaker's weakness is clubs wielded by none other than Grandpa. We then get a flashback explaining how the kid's Aunt Nancy was blind and smooching all over Sheriff Thurston Howell III. What would Lovey think? But Nancy doesn't want marriage, she wants to see. And then there's an accident, and... Aw, damn it, a cliffhanger flashback. So they discover that Grandpa killed the caretaker with a shillelagh, which is kind of epic in a tragic way, and go investigating the funeral parlor instead, where they whoop on a mortician and find old Nancy, just in time for Sheriff Thurston to show up and join the party. Everyone plays dumb and makes out like they're there for Nancy's midnight funeral extravaganza. They all try to head out, but not before Chief Howell III makes everything more awkward by making the doc push the cadaver of his sister-in-law past all the people that know he probably killed her, all while Thurston stares him down like a mother. So they're all off to the cemetery again for more dialogue and digging, and oh, for God's sakes, another flashback. This one features the doc being a butt munch to his pregnant wife and giving her the cold shoulder because he's having an affair on the night that his wife goes into labor. Sheriff Howell III shows up to tell him that his wife is dead, his daughter's alive, and this is for you, Dr. Dickbag! Back to reality, and oops, there goes gravity, and Chief Thurston shows up just in time to get in on the action. They search the Howell family crypt and find the caretaker! Damn, Pappy whooped that ass good! Everybody gets back to Nancy's night burial, only to discover that the kid was buried next to Nancy's grave the whole time. Pappy's heart goes kaput, and while everybody's in a huddle, the doc takes some bullets. From the Undertaker, and then we find out that Doc Barrett orchestrated the whole thing to scare Grandpa to death and inherit the old man's money because, you know, he killed everybody else in the will. They get to the doc's office in time for him to succumb to his wounds and wake up the daughter to tell her she's a millionaire. Now, William Castle was known for using gimmicks during his movie releases in the late 50s and early 60s. Punishment poles for Dr. Sardonicus, ass buzzers for The Tingler, flying skeletons for House on Haunted Hill. But for this movie, he offered all ticket holders a $1,000 life insurance policy at the door in case the movie scared them to death. They were fun little ways of bringing the audience into the atmosphere of the movies, and William Castle always seemed to do it the best. Despite their low budget, the movies always seemed to work, and Castle had a knack for taking concepts that seemed like something out of a goofy thriller episode and making it into something that actually gives you a goose. Now, I'm not going to pretend like this movie held up like 12 Angry Men or The Killing or something, but if you like old Alfred Hitchcock Presents episodes and suspense thrillers from back in the day, then find this one and give it a shot. And laugh at the fact that this movie probably gave you Grandpa's skid marks.
We ain't found shit!